On this day 26 years ago, the latest addition to the ever-growing catalog of 16-bit action-adventure RPG games was released. Crusader of Centy, A.K. Ragnarscenty in Japan and Soleil in Europe landed on the Sega Genesis. Back then, it received muted fanfare. Nowadays, it's barely discussed, despite it being one of the all-time greatest games of its genre. Developed by the now-defunct Nextech, Crusader of Centy was described at the time and has since been endlessly referred to as a Zelda clone for the Genesis. It was so much more than that. It didn't just offer completely unique mechanics and depths of action that contemporary Zelda games simply didn't provide, it also delivered one of the most complex, thought-provoking storylines of the era. Crusader of Centy kicks off in Soleil Town, where your character Corona, a boy who's just turned 14, must train for battle, by law, in order to maintain the settlement's defenses against monster attacks. Equipped with your heroic late father's sword and shield, you head out to learn new skills before exploring and unlocking sections of an initially linear map, which you can then revisit. Things go awry early in the game, when you lose your ability to speak to humans. Only animals and plants can understand you. Starting with your own beloved dog, some of the local creatures you encounter become sympathetic to your struggle and choose to accompany you on your quest. In one case, they're convinced to tag along after you beat them in a race by using a car. No, really. Each animal offers a special ability, and you can assign 2 at a time to your party. These unique talents include reviving you after death, cat, making you move twice as fast, cheetah, and turning your sword into an icy boomerang, penguin, responding to an ever-changing world that constantly unlocks in response to your partner's aptitudes. Your chosen pair always follow you on screen, giving it an even more adventurous vibe. The storyline only gets bigger and better, too. Crusader of Centy sees you fighting dragons, climbing the Tower of Babel, speaking to forces beyond your comprehension, including a brief cameo from Sonic the Hedgehog, and learning exactly why the monsters hate humanity so much. Not many games released on or before 1994 presented moral quandaries quite like it. Nowadays, due to its initial limited release, physical versions of Crusader of Centy are super rare. Mint copies routinely attract $400 to $500 in the US, but its Soleil outing here in Europe can be a little cheaper, so long as you're happy with a German copy. Sie müssen Deutsch lernen, und schnell. Luckily, a $5 second-hand copy my brother bought me for Christmas in 1997, which I then traded to a best friend of mine for Command & Conquer, the covert operations a couple of years later, was returned to me by him as a gift just last year. But whatever its true value is, and 21 years after I last played Soleil, I really can't put a price on the happiness it brought me.